All right, welcome back. And today, what I want to do before we get further into the Davos story is I'm just going to show you real quick what I mean when I talk about like taking something into Studio Binder or, well, the export of that. So I've taken everything that we generated from the previous episodes of the House of the Crabber and I've put it into a screenplay. And this is going to make it a lot easier for us to actually go through and have it analyze, which is what we're going to have it do today. We're going to have ChatGPT analyze its own writing in GPT4, and then it's going to tell us that there's some pacing issues, because there are. So, and it repeats itself as well. That's the problem that it runs into over and over, just because of, I think, the token limit or something. So I'll always do a few scenes, I'll bring it over to the screenplay, I'll bring it back into GPT, analyze it. If I've made any changes or I want to, I'll make them at this point. Before I bring it back in to get analyzed, and then I'll start either, if I have something in mind, I'll go from there with that, with my idea. But at this point, if you didn't have something in mind, you could just start using ChatGPT to actually start plotting out the next bit of the story, which is what we'll do today. Because I have something in mind, but I think it'd be more fun if we do it this way. So I have GPT-4 on. The prompt for this, I'll put in the description. It's like this. And so I'm just saying I'm gonna have you act as my screenwriting assistant. Just use these various books and break down the analysis. I'm just gonna prompt that first. It's gonna say, okay, hit me with your screenplay. And so at this point, I will just do a full copy paste of that screenplay that I got. Now, if you're dealing with like 110 pages, you might not be able to get that in there. You'll have to go scene at a time, but you can get all the information in there that you want. So let me just get that copied. There we go. And then I always tell it screenplay, and then I just copy paste. Boom. It doesn't matter that it's not in the correct format because it knows. Oh, sometimes it'll get right into it. Dark Sorcerer, stop. I wanted to critique. If it gives you issues, because they like, I don't know, sometimes ChatGPT doesn't act the same way from one instance to the next. But if it gives you any issues, just stop and say, I want a critique of the screenplay. Yes, I agree that, okay, so it's telling us that we need a more substantial build up to the climax, which I agree it was going too quick. The ending feels abrupt. Sir Davos ready for battle, but without a clear understanding of what the battle entails. I agree. We hadn't actually gotten to that. We're about 11 pages in, so this is kind of the point where that would actually happen. So you see it. Even it knows that its writing is a little clunky, but with just a little bit of like polishing. And all screenplays are like this. My rough drafts, I always get them out as quick. I'll do the treatment, then I'll get the rough draft out, and then I'll go in and start refining it, because I don't like to get stopped while I'm writing. And that's why this series is a little interesting, because I'm stopping every time we do this. Every video, where I would just continue to write it. So the pacing is mostly consistent, but some scenes could benefit from some action and conflict to maintain the audience. For example, the protest scene could be intensified by adding tension and confrontation. Okay, and what we'll do is we can start telling it like, okay, let's work on 1, let's work on 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we can go step by step. The use of crabs, its central motif, is an interesting concept, I agree, but it could be further developed to make the world feel more immersive and concrete. For instance, it could explore the veneration of the crabs, impact the culture, politics. Well, we're doing that. And the crab coins are significant because Davos, wants to venerate the crab. Let's see. The theme of power and responsibility is well explored, but the screenplay could delve deeper into the consequences of his actions and how he learns from his mistakes. He will not be learning from his mistakes. This would make his character arc more satisfying and provide a stronger message about the nature of leadership. It sucks, and if you have a king, you're asking for trouble. That's the nature of that leadership. Because then you got this guy who decides he wants to make crab coins, and he's the fucking crab king, and what are you gonna do? So overall, the screenplay has a solid foundation with engaging characters. So what I want to have it work on is pacing. Okay, let's work on 4. So it's saying introduce conflict early. And what we can do here, once this is done, we can tell it, okay, make those changes. And we could have it start changing the screenplay, because you don't want to get going on a story if you're actually doing something big. The goal for this series might be to just get the one episode done, to give a little bit goofier ending to the series, but, you know, and kind of make fun of everything that was stupid in the very last episode. Or at least I thought was stupid. If you liked it, you know, that's cool. I'm not hating on you. But I thought it was a bit of a letdown, and I think most people did. So I don't think I'm saying anything too controversial here. Okay, so it's saying introduce the conflict early, balance dialogue with action, shorten and combine scenes. And yes, there are repetitive scenes. Vary the intensity of conflict, enhance subplots, and then create a sense of urgency. Let's do all of these steps one by one. Let's do all of these steps. Okay, so it gave us all these things. So it's gonna say introduce him, the council members, which I actually do think should, after we do the, you know, he gets a throne, we should actually introduce the council members, so that's good. Reveal the economic crisis caused by the crab coins. We should actually just introduce the crab coins and have a better fleshed out version of that. The Water Witch, I already fixed that here. The Water Witch isn't leading the rebellion, she's the mentor. Establish a deadline. Sir Davos has 1 month to resolve the crab coin crisis and maintain his power. I'll just tell you. So Euron's not dead. He should be making an appearance in the next scene when Davos like goes down to like get this, kind of like a dragon egg, but it's a crab dragon or something. A lot of crab stuff going on in this one. But like Euron's down there, and like after Jaime like killed him or whatever at the end of the you know, the series. But like the drowned god was like, you know, Euron, hey, what up? What up, my man? You work for me, and we're gonna unleash some like Lovecraftian nightmares onto Westeros. And so that's why Bouillabaisse of Crab and Kraken is the name of this kind of arc, when the Maester tells it at the end, like, you know, Sam does. That's gonna be this big, you know, battle. We're gonna get the Euron Greyjoy stuff coming in, and it's gonna be pretty nuts. So from here, the protest, see, this is good. It doesn't know about Euron because I didn't want to give it the Euron stuff, because then Euron would just be in there like banging the queen and shit like he is in the series rather than the book. So we want more of a book Euron. So, and the protests are going to be like the background of this, like where everybody's like, oh, you know, we want to go. And then what will happen is that they're going to be united in this new kind of thing, essentially like a White Walker. Intensify the protest scene. Sir Davos has his council, devises a plan to counteract the crisis, develop the Water Witch subplot, reveal her motivations, and the message she uses to manipulate the small folk. Maybe she should be manipulating them. But, no. Introduce a surprise attack from an enemy faction. We already have that. Creating an action-packed scene and raising the stakes. Shows Sir Davos struggling to balance his duties. So you can see, it just gives us like a whole little plot here that we can do. The pacing should be more engaging and dynamic. So we're just going to fix the Water Witch thing. Alright, cool. So what we did here is we just said, like, hey, the crab coins aren't really the main problem. This is just the first scene. And Davos becoming king to show he has some issues connecting to the people. And I think it's the people have some issues connecting to him. He's king. They better get in line. So the real battle that is coming is with Euron Greyjoy, who has been drowned and reborn by the drowned god. I already said this, but to unleash the Lovecraftian nightmare upon Westeros in the form of krakens from the deep and all manner of blood magics. Okay, cool. See, look, now it's getting it. Yeah, this is much better. Scene outlines too. Yeah, this is much better. So in the first 20 pages here, we're gonna see, well, probably more like first 11, we're gonna see this. So at the end, the next scene would be Euron. So it's getting it right now. So Davos and his council investigate the Water Witch's warning. Euron launches his first attack, unleashing the Krakens and blood magic on coastal towns, which is, yeah, that would work. Develop the Water Witch subplot, reveal her motivations. She's Melisandre, basically. We need to give her a name as well. We'll call her Welisandra. Sir Davos struggles to balance his duties as a ruler with his personal life, adding emotional. I don't really think he has a personal life, but with his personal life, adding emotional depth to the story. Maybe he could, like, you know, go down to the whorehouse or something. So, as the threats escalate, Sir Davos forms an alliance with other Westerosi houses to defend against Euron's onslaught. He doesn't have to do that. He's the king. He will call the banners. So, Sir Davos and his council devise a strategy to counter Euron's blood magic and Kraken attacks. The Water Witch guidance becomes clear, and Sir Davos gains a deep understanding of his destiny and his role in the kingdom. An action-packed battle scene takes place, and Davos and his allies face off against Euron's nightmarish forces. Yada yada yada. They defeat him. Wrap up. The end. So this is perfect. Let's take it from the top in screenplay format. Maximum dialogue. Good pacing. Characters should speak in their own voices and be distinct from each other. I like to say this every once in a while just to remind it, like, hey, write like you got some goddamn sense. Alright, cool. And so we're not going to go and read through this one again because this would get way long if we did that, but maybe next time I'll just start right here and we'll go from there. So now that we've got the new screenplay, well, I put them on Dragonstone, which is interesting, but 3 crab coins, that's the price, and it's final. I won't pay for the fair price for my crabs. So he's paying for crabs with crab coins. I think you're getting a deal if you're getting a whole crabs for 3 crab coins. So anyways, that's where we'll end it here. Hope you got a little bit out of that. This will work for basically whatever screenplay you want to do. And you can go scene by scene. If it's like, oh, this scene's dialogue, like this was a goof. And I just took it straight from the GPT and put it straight into Studio Binder and brought it right back in. Where normally I would like fix everything. I'd get way better pacing, maybe write some jokes or whatever I want to have in there. And, it would mention something about pacing and I'd be like, what scenes have pacing issues? It would tell you what scene specifically it thinks has an issue. And then you can be like, okay, well, let's rewrite this scene. Let's rewrite this. And you can just sit there and start iterating over and over and get like, with generative AI, it's just like Mid-Journey or something. You may get it right the first time and that'd be awesome and save you a lot of time. But a few generations, generally, you can start to cherry pick everything. So I hope you got something from this. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.